PM show, weekend edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the one and only Mr. Fred Dryer.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the show. We're talking with Jim Roop, the West Coast Bureau Chief, correspondent for CNN Radio Network. We're talking about Newt and about his wife and the potentiality of what is necessary for the Republican Party to overtake Barack Obama. Now, Jim,
yes,
you said earlier that you thought that what the candidates needed to do is go a little bit further left of center. Is that what you thought?
Well, no, a little bit further toward the center, but not left of center. I got a real education in Arizona with their semi-closed primary. Republicans and independents were allowed to vote in that primary. Mm-hmm. What I saw from independents was if they're going to vote for a Republican over a Democrat, then that Republican needs to be a little more toward the center. Not so much left of center, but just need to come over a little bit more. And if the Republicans can see that and make that move, at least try to make that move, I think they'll get more independents than the Democrats will, and that is what could take them over the top in November.
Now, here's my question on that.
Right now, they need to go for those independents.
Here's my question, because, Fred, you believe that the Republican Party was destroyed by the Karl Rove architecture of moving the candidates left of center, and you're saying we've got to pull them back right of center, as it was during the Ronald Reagan era, when Ronald Reagan didn't care if he offended the Republicans or the Democrats. He knew what he wanted to do, and so he was positioned right of center, and yet he got independence when he did that.
Well, conservatism is based. I base it on the constitutional conservatism. I base it on are you a constitutional conservative, not a constitutional Republican? What happened is Karl Rove came into the scene with compassionate conservatism, which was going left of center, taking Reagan politics across the center line. So what we have now is you've got the Republican Party still left of center, and now Barack Obama and George Soros hugely, extremely left. So the conversation in America now is just about left of center and extreme left, anti-constitutional left of center.
Your thoughts on that, Jim?
I'm not seeing the Republican Party that far to the left.
Well, they're a little bit far. What they've done is they've crossed over the center line to become left of center with these social issues. They're big spenders as well. That used to be completely against all the premises of true conservatism. And what I look at is I think that the Republican Party is struggling between the Tea Party, which I believe is right of center Constitution, and also against the old line, John McCain, left of center, just left of center, Republican Party. There's a battle and a struggle between, is this going to be a conservative party or is it going to be kind of a center, little bit left party?
What did you think of that, Jim? I know you got to leave for another feed here, but we'll give you the final word.
I think you can be conservative, but I wouldn't go as far left as Karl Rove went. But I think you can be conservative and move toward the center a little bit, and that's just called compromise. And again, I think right now what the Republicans need to do is concentrate on those independents. They can get those independents if they move a little, if they stay a little more center. I say right of center, but a little more center than the Ron Paul and the Newt Gingrich are now. I think everybody needs to move that way. Mitt Romney needs a little more competition. Rick Santorum needs to move way out of the right, too, that he's in, and leave the faith-based stuff alone, and then I think they'll be all right. But they got to go for those independents, and the only way to do that is to move more toward the center. That's just my opinion from what I've seen.
I see. How do you see this thing playing out next week, Super Tuesday, and all the way into the rest of into the summer?
Well, no doubt about it, Romney has the momentum right now. I hate to use that word because everybody's using it, but that's exactly what he has. He's got a nice lead. He's got nice momentum. I think what's going to happen to the key state's going to be Ohio. And we're going to find out on Tuesday what Ohio does. Whatever Ohio says, it's what's going to wind up being what's going to happen in August.
Jim, can you be on with us next week?
Absolutely, sure.
All right, good. Now, he's got another feed, so we're going to let him go.
One more thing, and thank you so much, Jim, for being on the show. But what do you think John Kasich's going to do? Who's he going to get behind?
Well, that's a great question. I do not have an opinion on that right now. No way.
All right. Well, maybe next week we'll know after Super Tuesday on Tuesday. We'll be back. And
thank you, Jim.
And we want to thank you for joining the show, Jim. Thanks so much for your insights.
Thank you very much, guys.
Okay.
As Jim Roop, CNN Radio West Coast Bureau Chief, he's a great guy. I'm telling you.
Indeed, he
He's
is.
got feeding all these stations and everything, and I was glad we grabbed him. We can grab him next week again,
Yeah,
possibly.
that's what we'll do.
And then maybe have him on the air after we grab
and
him.
I'll bring the potato salad.
Will you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
If you
good.
wear your sundress,
Okay, I'm going to have Newt's wife,
just
Calista.
get
is
really
gonna-
drunk and come in with a sundress.
I'm going to wear those. Reagan in his 1976 speech said that the Republican platform had bold colors, no pastels. She's wearing pastels.
She's wearing circus pastels, and I
That's not
don't
gonna
like
work.
that in my first lady. I got to tell you,
That's,
I'm not going to tolerate it. And if Newt somehow miraculously pulls this out, I'm going to Washington,
and tell
and I'm going to
help her
somehow
wardrobe.
I'll somehow,
Go
if
through
I
the
cook or
wardrobe.
crook, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to bring a nice wardrobe for her. And a
It's
shawl.
the PM Show Weekend Edition with the one and only Fred Dryer, 30 past the hour on CRN.